Hello everyone and welcome back to the MattVidProAI YouTube channel. Hey, if you've been watching my channel for a while now and aren't subscribed yet, please consider it. And if you're super into generative AI, I highly suggest you join my Discord server, also linked down below. Shameless shilling aside, I am extremely excited for what we're talking about today. Like, I haven't felt this excited about an AI project since GPT-4 or even DALL-E 2's original release. The big news here is that DALL-E 3 has been officially announced. A lot of you might be sitting back thinking like, hey, DALL-E 2 kind of stinks, doesn't it? Midjourney's totally way better, SDXL is totally way better, even Bing Image Creator, which is technically DALL-E 2.5, we'll get into that, is way better than DALL-E 2. So how good could DALL-E 3 possibly be? Well, I wasn't really ready for this, but it is just ridiculously good. It stomps all over anything else we've seen before. This is next level image generation. This is a step up, like a full iota GPT-4 level bump up. Here is the official announcement from OpenAI. Interestingly enough, no research paper has been released yet for this. I sure hope they do. But yeah, this is super closed source stuff, ironically from OpenAI, right? DALL-E 3. DALL-E 3 understands significantly more nuance and detail than our previous systems, allowing you to easily translate your ideas into exceptionally accurate images. And you know what? They're putting their money where their mouth is. I have a ton of examples to show you later in the video. First up here, we've got this little comic. It's kind of cute, right? This little avocado. We've got a text blurb saying, "I just feel so empty inside." And then the spoon is taking notes here, as if he's a psychologist. Honestly, the joke doesn't make too much sense, but the AI didn't really come up with the joke. This is the text prompt for this image. An illustration of an avocado sitting in a therapist's chair saying, "I just feel so empty inside," with a pit-sized hole in its center. The therapist, a spoon, scribbles notes. The image that we got is incredibly accurate to that text prompt. It is following it perfectly. If you guys want an example, let's put this text prompt inside of Midjourney. Same exact prompt in Midjourney, not even close. Sure, it's an illustration, but we don't even see the spoon, we don't even see the avocado. All we got is these chairs and like some weird text blurbs just all over the screen. Yeah, Midjourney produces clear results and it's aesthetically pleasing no matter what. But that and maybe photography is all it's really good for. DALL-E 3 here is a way more diverse tool. I think the results speak for themselves here. Not to mention the other bumps in quality we are seeing. Perfect text inside this bubble. You didn't even have to specify it. All you have to say is that the avocado is quote unquote saying something. That's very natural text understanding by this model. And you know what? The images that DALL-E 3 produces do seem to be incredibly sharp, just like Midjourney. So it's catching up in that department as well. Not only that, but the hands on these little characters are perfect, as well as the crossed legs by this spoon therapist character. The shoes are pretty much identical. It's very consistent throughout. The only error with this image is the fact that the clipboard is being held backwards. So that's something, you know, in painting could easily fix, but in the original generation, that's not what we are seeing. High levels of everything, essentially. This is just next step up on every single level. It's awesome to see. This is what we call changing the game, redefining things. This prompt, honestly, is even more insane because it's more complex. A 2D animation of a folk music band composed of anthropomorphic autumn leaves, each playing traditional bluegrass instruments, amidst a rustic forest setting dappled with the soft light of a harvest moon. Again, incredibly natural language, reads like it's straight out of a book. You know, a lot of prompts we see for SDXL or Midjourney don't read like this. It's just a bunch of keywords over and over again, back to back. With DALL-E 3, it seems like you can speak to it as if it's a human. But it's the same thing going on over here. Beautifully designed, intricate, accurate, and sharp leaf characters, all with bluegrass instruments. Maybe, you know, the two banjos side by side here is a little sad to see. We'd like to see different instruments, but perhaps with a different prompt, you could get a better result. And honestly, the details here are fairly accurate. In the part of the strings with the instruments, you can see there's a little bit of gross mushiness going on, but overall, it's easily up there, if not the best I've ever seen from an AI art image generator. Not to mention the style, 2D animation is captured perfectly. It's just absolutely incredible. This is more of a typical Midjourney style image, we could say. Again, very natural language, deep black backdrop a figure of middle years. You know, it's not saying middle-aged person, it's saying a figure of middle years. Attire resembles a whirlwind of marble and porcelain fragments. You can definitely see that. Finally, we get a little chair demo, something that OpenAI has been known to do. A lychee-inspired spherical chair. I don't even know what a lychee is. A type of fruit, a very specific fruit that I didn't even know existed. If you guys have tried this thing, let me know if it's good. Anyways, definitely accurate to that fruit. Bumpy white exterior and plush interior, totally visible, set against a tropical wallpaper. And honestly, this is a complex prompt, and this seems like it's just dropped at easy for DALL-E 3. Like, this is something simple for it, and the best AI art image generators that currently exist cannot handle it. Here are Midjourney's results. We definitely got a chair. I would say it's spherical. However, it does not look like it's inspired by that fruit much at all, and it did not understand the difference between the exterior and the interior. Difficult prompt for current best image generators, easy prompt for this brand new image generator. As stated earlier, DALL-E 3 is in research preview currently, but will be becoming public very soon. ChatGPT Plus users, so that's that $20 a month chat subscription, as well as enterprise customers in October will be able to access it, and it will also have an API later this fall. So if you've already got ChatGPT Plus, well, you're golden. You're going to have access to DALL-E 3. I don't know if it's going to be limited generations per hour or per day or something like that, or if it's going to be infinite. No clue on any of that, but we know it's included with ChatGPT Plus. OpenAI is kind of, you know, taking some whacks at current image generators, saying modern text-to-image systems have a tendency to ignore words or descriptions, forcing users to learn prompt engineering. This is a really good point and a good way of putting this. That's what I was trying to explain earlier, where people just kind of put taglines in a row as a prompt, and that's how you get the best result. DALL-E 3 represents a leap forward in our ability to generate images that exactly adhere to the text you provide. Exactly. There's no guesswork here. It will just do it. For the most part. Obviously, there's limits. However, they are far better than they used to be. Yeah, this is probably even more mind-blowing than some of the stuff we saw before. They don't even tell us what the actual prompt for this is, but they're pointing out the different parts of the prompt that it adhered to. This is probably more impressive than the earlier images we saw. The prompt here starts with the sidewalks bustling with pedestrians enjoying the nightlife. That's absolutely included in the prompt and fits with the rest of the theme. A bustling city street under the shine of a full moon. Full moon is included. At the corner stall, a young woman with fiery red hair, dressed in a signature velvet cloak, is haggling with the grumpy old vendor. The woman has fiery red hair, she's definitely young looking, and she's got this signature cloak. She's facing the vendor. The grumpy vendor, a tall, sophisticated man, is wearing a sharp suit, sports a noteworthy mustache, and is animatedly conversing on his steampunk telephone. So he's definitely grumpy and old and absolutely taller than the woman. He's wearing a sharp suit. He has a noteworthy mustache as well, curling around. I would say he's pretty animated here, conversing on his steampunk telephone. The details here are just insane too. It had to infer like, oh, he's a vendor, so he's selling all kinds of fruits and different things. He's got a little pile of quarters. He's got a bell to ring for service. He's inside of a stall. Another crazy thing here, it's not perfect, but we can see like most of the cord leading from the steampunk phone all the way down to the rest of the phone. Like I said, it's got limits, but this is a very complex prompt. Again, try putting this into any image generator that currently exists and see if you get anything close to this. One thing that's also a huge bump from DALL-E 2, we have image aspect ratios now. It's not just square images. This looks like a 16 by 10, something like that. Furthermore, even with the same exact prompt as original DALL-E 2, DALL-E 3 delivers significant improvements. And yeah, that's obviously true. Look at the amount of detail we have in this image in comparison to this old one. And the news keeps getting better. DALL-E 3 is built natively on ChatGPT, which lets you use ChatGPT as a brainstorming partner and refiner of your prompts. Just ask ChatGPT what you want to see in anything from a simple sentence to a detailed paragraph. What I would love to know is, can ChatGPT see the images we generate and be like, this part of the image is screwed up. Can we fix that by modifying this in the prompt? Or could we ask ChatGPT to in-paint certain parts out? My thoughts here is probably not yet, but that is some interesting ideas for the future there. When prompted with an idea, ChatGPT automatically generates tailored, detailed prompts for DALL-E 3 that bring your idea to life. DALL-E 3 is more of a chatbot than anything else, guys. The images you create with DALL-E 3 are yours, and you don't need OpenAI's permission to reprint, sell, or merchandise them. That's always good to see. And they've got a little video for us to see of this ChatGPT in action. I'll tell you right now, guys, I've seen this and it's gonna pause this. Did you guys notice that? Take a look and soak this in. What do you notice about it? Sure, it's very accurate and detailed. We've got coherent text, but look closely. The resolution is 100% beyond 1024 by 1024. What resolution does it generate in? 4K? This is detailed. Like, this is beyond 1024 by 1024 by a large amount. All right, I'm liking this. That is something I was wondering about. Will it do anything above 1024 by 1024? It looks like that's the case. So kind of a lighthearted, sweet thing going on there. I think this is a pretty smart marketing move for OpenAI to combine ChatGPT with DALL-E 3. It just gives extra capabilities and makes DALL-E 3 way easier to use. I think that's one of the reasons that OpenAI noticed DALL-E 2 kind of failed in the end, less accessible, especially with that credit system. So, as usual, a focus on safety. A lot of us don't like to hear that, but they say, like previous versions, we've taken steps to limit DALL-E 3's ability to generate violent, adult, or hateful content. So it has mitigations to decline requests that ask for public figure by name. So it looks like you can still describe a public figure and get something out of it. They improved safety performance in certain areas, tried to reduce some harmful biases. Apparently they don't want to over or underrepresent anybody. We'll see how that plays out in reality. And they've done this in partnership with red teamers, domain experts who stress test the model to help inform our risk assessment and mitigation efforts. I definitely saw some of the results that were stress testing things. There's a lot of blood and gore in the research preview models. Like, it could do full frontal nudity, apparently. I'll link that video talking about those previous test models that built up to DALL-E 3. It's really cool. You get to see a lot of examples of what this thing can do, and I highly recommend you watch that video. I would cover some of that stuff today, but this video is going to be long enough. This is honestly pretty interesting. They're also researching the best ways to help people identify when an image was created with AI versus a human, and they're experimenting with a provenance classifier, a new internal tool that can help them identify whether or not an image was created with DALL-E 3. So a little bit of safety in there. I know a lot of us don't like the censorship and the safety that gets locked down with these OpenAI models, but, you know, they have to do this stuff for sure. A business does not want to invest or even use the product unless it has some of this stuff built in. Wow, this is crazy! DALL-E 3 is designed to decline user requests that ask for an image in the style of a living artist. So as long as the artist is no longer alive, I guess it doesn't matter? How updated is that? What if an artist passes away tomorrow? Can I suddenly use their work? All right, a lot of the art people who are very against AI art will like this. Creators can now also opt their images out from training of our future image generation models. Well, hopefully no one goes around unaliving artists so they can suddenly use their work in DALL-E 3, but I think that's fair enough. Like, as long as the artist is in the public domain, so to speak, it's not really a huge problem. Wow, take a look at these samples. Silhouette of a grand piano overlooking a dusky cityscape viewed from a top floor penthouse, rendered in the bold and vivid style of a vintage travel poster. Man, look how good that image is, guys. Oh gosh, this thing is so ahead of it, like anything else we've seen before. It's just like this dramatic, like flashing image at you. It's so artistic. This is so much better than the previous models we've seen. And look at all those little city lights here poking out. Pretty detailed, good detail in this. Less stuff is mushing together than we normally see out of AI images. Photorealism is off the charts. A vibrant yellow banana-shaped couch sits in a cozy living room, its curve cradling a pile of colorful cushions. On the wooden floor, a patterned rug adds a touch of eclectic charm, and a potted plant sits in the corner, reaching towards the sunlight filtered through the window. Like, I just don't even know how to think about this. And the dynamic range is also really phenomenal here. It's just ridiculous. This looks so much like a real photo. A vast landscape made entirely of various meats spreads out before the viewer. Tender, succulent, hills of roast beef, drumstick trees, bacon rivers, and ham boulders create a surreal yet appetizing scene. The sky is adorned with pepperoni sun and salami clouds. Okay, you can see it actually started to ignore some things and add its own amount of creative touch here. Like, we don't see drumstick trees, we see regular trees. Not to say it's a bad image, but it did ignore a few of these things. Like, no salami clouds, although they are pink. Lots of detail, though, for sure. I think that's a big concern people had with the original DALL-E 2. And yeah, this has as much detail as Midjourney easily. It's very sharp, it's very clear. Papercraft art depicting a girl giving her cat a gentle hug. Both sit amidst potted plants, with the cat purring contently while the girl smiles. The scene is adorned with handcrafted paper flowers and leaves. Very accurate, exactly what I expected. A mini-map diorama of a cafe adorned with indoor plants. Wooden beams crisscross above, and a cold brew station stands out with tiny bottles and glasses. Oh my gosh. These are the kinds of images too that like drive me crazy. I love stuff like this where it's just like this tiny little microscopic thing. We can even say it says cold brew right up there because it's a brewery for coffee. You can see in some of the finer details, like the bottles are a little bit mushy. Still a lot better than what we've seen before. It is small and it got that perspective right with the camera blurring out the stuff close and far away. Good Lord. I saw this one on Twitter, I believe. A woman who is like shattering into a bunch of ceramic pieces. It's very artistic. This is the kind of stuff that you see generated with Midjourney quite a bit. So yeah, it can do that abstract artistic stuff very well. Wow, an ink sketch style illustration. Look at this. You can see like the little dotted lines and everything. It looks like a little comic book character. Piece of watermelon with its tiny paws, taking little bites with its eyes closed in delight. Wow, dude, that is crazy good. Man, all of these are so impressive. Like, each one of these generations is honestly shockingly good. Like, better than most of what we've seen before from AI art. We don't know what kind of level of cherry picking is going on here. Oh, you can see you can do portrait as well. Vintage travel poster for Venus in portrait orientation. So you literally just text it the orientation that you want. Thick yellowish clouds of Venus with a silhouette of vintage rocket ship approaching. Okay, we could definitely have a rocket ship in this, but I wouldn't say it's approaching. Mysterious shapes hint at mountains and valleys in the clouds below. Bottom text reads, explore Venus, beauty behind the mist. We can see the words like the mist down there, but this is all kind of gibberish. So, you know, it doesn't get it perfect every time. This makes me think that maybe they aren't actually cherry picking these results. Would be good to see that. Got a little potato king here with all of his little potato minions. Again, those really creative ideas you could just bring to life. A little split down dichotomy style thing here with the tiger and the fire, and then the nature tiger on the other side. A digital illustration of a beach scene crafted from yarn. Man, this is crazy. Oh, dude, the possibilities are just truly endless. This is why it like brings back that original excitement of AI image generation that I used to have. Oh, it's so cool. Look at all those little individual pieces. This is so impressive. This one really impressed a lot of people too. It says find the universe within you right at the bottom here, and we've got this detailed ocean with this crazy cosmic heart up on the pedestal and like the heavenly clouds above. This is super detailed too. There's so much detail in this image. I mean, freaking nuts. And you can even see like the way the waves are reacting to the light pouring down below. It's true art. It's beautiful, guys. Like, tell me it's soulless. I mean, you're coming up with the ideas, right? You've got, in homage to old world botanical sketches, an illustration is rendered with detailed lines and subtle watercolor touches. We've got like these succulents and flowers like twisting and wrapping around each other. So that's a way you can sort of get away with using specific art styles. You just say like in homage to like this specific art style as a whole, not just a particular artist. This is really cool. 3D render of a coffee mug placed on a windowsill during a stormy day. The storm outside the window is reflected in the coffee with miniature lightning bolts, turbulent waves seen inside the mug. Room is dimly lit. Again, this thing kind of does just go off on its own. And, you know, it's not going to give you the stormy clouds and the lightning inside of the mug itself. It's just going to make the coffee like these waves. It actually specifies all the specific monsters. Like, look at all the little dots that make up the shading in the eyes of the monsters. That's the thing that really impresses me about that. Oh, pixel art looks good though. This is crazy. Pixel art scene of Coit Tower standing tall at Telegraph Hill. Wow. And this is a specific place too. The pixel art is crazy good. This should show you how good this model is here. It is so hard to get a raw model, like not a LoRa or anything like that, like a raw model such as this to produce pixel art that looks that good. I mean, it's not perfect in every scenario, but it's like nearly there. Here is a very good photorealism. Like this photo almost looks too good and surreal to be real, but it totally looks photorealistic. Close-up photograph of a hermit crab nestled in wet sand with sea foam nearby and the details of its shell and texture of the sand accentuated. Yeah, definitely lots of high details in this photography, and it totally looks exactly like a hermit crab, like down to the little hairs on his hermit crab arms. That is insane levels of detail, man. Insane. Got a fancy illustration of an old sea captain. Again, tons of detail. We can see like these monstrous faces appearing and looming from the clouds, seagulls flying. It's all morphing into the sea. Look at how detailed this chair is. You can see like the type of fabric it is. You can almost feel it. You can see it definitely does generate an above 1024 by 1024 because I just opened this up and this is a 1506 by 1024. We've got an old shipwreck. That looks like a real photo of a shipwreck. Actually, ships have been classically very difficult to generate with AI art image generators because of all their complex little details, and it seems to have done a fairly good job here. Pretty awesome results, to say the least. I don't know how cherry-picked these are. I'm hoping they're not very cherry-picked at all. The Explorer Venus poster in particular makes me think that these aren't very cherry-picked, but we'll see. I really wish they had a research paper so we could see some more examples and really get a better idea of how good it is. You bet I'm going to cover this when it fully releases, and we'll do a deep dive comparing it to current image generators. This is very much far beyond what we've seen before. A lot of people are like, oh, Midjourney V6 is coming out soon. Midjourney V6 is coming out soon. I don't think Midjourney has the research capabilities to be able to develop what OpenAI has developed here. This model, this DALL-E 3, utilizes a lot of the same technology that's built with stuff like GPT-4. They've been working on their GPT technology for a very long time, and I feel like that's kind of the base, like the base floor that all of this is sitting on top of. I don't know. I don't think that Midjourney V6 is going to be able to stack up to this. I could be wrong, though. Maybe it's going to come out of the woodwork with like insane levels of promptability, but so far, DALL-E 3 is just totally a step ahead. Thanks for watching. Get subscribed so you can see the full review and the full look into DALL-E 3 once it releases. I'm trying to get early access to it, but we'll see how that goes. See you in the next one. Goodbye.